Hello everybody, welcome back to NCAA 2004, and it is time for the penultimate conclusion to this very long-winded series. Now this isn't the very final episode, but it will be the second to last. It's the last gameplay as we are going for our third straight national title against the Texas Christian Horned Frogs out of Fort Worth, who are on a 41-game win streak. We're on a 42-game win streak. They also come in boasting the number one defense in the country, the 17th offense in the country. So this is a very, very battle-hardened team here. Obviously, you could skew those numbers a little bit, considering that they play out of the Conference USA and not an actual power conference, but there are two nationally recognized programs also in CUSA that aren't TCU, like Southern Miss and Louisville. So the Conference USA is not the same in this game as it is in the modern day. It's a very, very different caliber of talent here, but still, they're not playing the SEC like we are, which I wish meant the same thing in this game as it does today. But as we know, the SEC hasn't been very good in this sim over the course of the 17 seasons we've been doing this. So who knows? Maybe the Conference USA stacks up pretty well, but obviously TCU stacks up pretty well, since they have not lost a game in 3 seasons. But neither have we. We've been on an absolute tear for the last 3 seasons, grabbing, I think the extra game difference is we won the bowl game of that 4th season. So the last game of like 4 years ago, and then the next 3 seasons is what we've won, whereas TCU lost that bowl game and then won out the last 3 seasons and have not lost. But they also have not gotten the consideration of the BCS computer, unfortunately for them. So they are finally getting their opportunity that they deserve, or should have deserved, for the last few seasons. Something I experienced when I did my Louisiana Monroe Dynasty in NCAA04. You know, these conferences and these non-major conferences kind of struggle with the computer a little bit. They don't get the looks, the favoritism. They don't have the numbers to keep up here. But, you know, who does have the numbers is Matt Bishop, man. Matt Bishop has the numbers on the year here. But he's trying to get to the 4,000 passing yard mark. He would need a massive game in order to do that today. It is possible, but he's done very well. His completion percentage is also trending over 60%, which I think is a very efficient mark. I don't know how many Bama quarterbacks we've had in this sim that have even gotten to that mark, but here we have finally we have a scoring play on this opening drive. So much like in the SEC championship game, I forgot to record the rosters before this game, but since it's the last game, the numbers are still pretty accurate. Some of them are just going to be a little bit inaccurate because I went back and wrote them down, but all the names are correct. So one of the big things about TCU's offense here is the running game, but as you can see, our defense has completely stifled it in the short yardage situation. But in no man's land, you could probably expect an opportunity, but no. TCU's going to punt it on back. So on 1st and 10 here, we are moving the ball towards midfield, and Bishop finds Reeves down the middle of the field. Reeves, our biggest receiver. He has had his breakout season, which is something that I was really looking for in this season, and he managed to do it. So in his junior season, he still has an extra year. We obviously won't see it, but in our final year with him, he's having his breakout that I was really hoping for, and there's the touchdown that we were looking for, baby. There it is, and I believe that's touchdown number 14, I think. So I had to do some math with like the box score at the end of the game to kind of do some subtraction, but it only gave me Reeves stats, and it gave me TCU's quarterback stats. So those were the only ones I was able to figure out. Everyone else, the numbers might be a little bit off, a little bit inaccurate, but I used approximations to try and make it a little bit more accurate. So, but Reeves, that is his 14th touchdown of the season. And now TCU heading the other direction, under 2 minutes left in the half, trying to answer back here, and it's Atari Benson finding an open target, and that will keep TCU's drive alive as they continue to move a little bit forward. And I believe it was Christian Simpson, number 8, the sophomore receiver. And Benson now going to run the option play here. Gets the pitch out just barely in time to Dennis McGrew, the running back, and that's going to give him at least the first down. So in goal to go here on 2nd and goal, Benson going to fake the option here, just kind of give it right up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown is TCU. And I didn't see exactly who took it for him. I think it's the fullback Chris Hall, the senior, and he's got almost a handful of touchdowns on the year. I think that might be touchdown number 5 on the season. So TCU, again, they're a big running team here. Both their fullback and running back have been very productive. Their quarterback does not have the best stats, but our quarterback does because he does things like this. I mean, absolute prayer of a ball all the way downfield. We immediately flip the field with just under a minute left to go in the first half. Bishop running around. TCU sends pressure, but Bishop able to evade it, and he manages to find Again, man, Pat, the backup tight end, he's just been getting a lot of work. He's been getting a ton of work, man. Bishop again evades the pressure, steps up in the pocket, and finds a wide open Reeves in the back corner of the end zone for touchdown number 15. And right now our offense is completely just reeling right now. Just complete just explosivity in the Sugar Bowl, as TCU's defense is really kind of struggling to find an answer for our passing offense. So, again, TCU's had a lot of success with Conference USA passing attacks, but they have not gone up against the class of the major conferences in terms of passing attacks. So, they have absolutely been struggling to contain us. But they did answer back on offense, and a big score here early in the second half would absolutely get them back in this ballgame. So, on 3rd and 9, Benson once again dumps it off, this time to the tight end, Jermel Lord. And it looks like he might have been just a little bit shy of the first down sticks, but TCU keeping the offense on the field on 4th and 1. They got to get back in this ball game. Benson's going to hand this one off to McGrew, and McGrew's able to at least get enough yards for a first down and a little bit more. So TCU's drive now will continue, and our defense needs to shape up a little bit here to preserve this 2-possession lead. So Benson here, 1st and 10. Going to hand this one off again to Hall, the fullback, and now he's just dragging guys with him, and he's going to get across the first down marker here. And there you go. There we see again. This rushing attack for the Horned Frogs has been a big problem all season long, or really for the last 3 years, the last few seasons, even though both of their runners today are primary starters in this year alone. There's not a lot of old stats. So TCU's really been reloading over these last few years. This dynasty they've kind of built has just been reloaded and rebuilt it year after year. So they're not relying on a lot of consistent play. Even Benson, their quarterback in this game, does not have any primary stats or predominant stats outside of this one season. So he hasn't been great, but there's another touchdown for him, a passing touchdown. So he came into this game with an even touchdown INT split, 11 and 10. So he's not been all that effective, just a little over 2,000 yards. He's really not been one of the best parts of this TCU team. But still, as you can see, the Horned Frogs are finding ways to stay in the game, and now we are back inside the red zone. Bishop evading pressure again. TCU keeps bringing it up front, but our O-line is probably one of the best units in all of college football, and they're going to struggle to get some genuine penetration at the line of scrimmage. So, and we are continuing to do what we want. So, on 2nd and goal here, Bishop hands this one off to Stanley, and Stanley's going to get another touchdown in this game here. Stanley on the quest for the 1,000-yard mark, and of course, he's got himself a healthy number of touchdowns. He finishes. Well, I won't tell you what he finishes with, but he's got well over 12, 13 touchdowns. So that'll give us that'll extend our lead back to 2 possessions, 28-14 over the Horned Frogs. But TCU is far from out of this game here. There's still plenty of time. They're already across midfield. Benson running around in the pocket here, finds an open target, and it's going to be caught. I believe it's Simpson once again, the sophomore, who makes the catch, and he's been kind of the biggest thing working for the TCU passing game right now in this game. Benson's had to find any openings that he can, because we also have a great secondary that's going to make throwing the football hard for the Horned Frogs. But Benson going to try it again here, and goes to that same spot on the field, but this time there's no one home, or at least, Benson's throw is off the line to Simpson. So on 4th and 8 here, after the failed 3rd down, Benson going to throw for it once again. Goes to that same spot on the field, but this time he tries to get it to McGrew, the running back, and we have a lot of physicality, so we knock that ball out here. McGrew cannot hang on to it, heading it down to the ground. That's a turnover on down, so we could effectively kill the rest of the game here if we can keep the drive alive. Again, Bishop under some pressure, but he's going to throw an interception instead. So that's what happens when you're under pressure. Finally, TCU got some penetration and got some pressure on the quarterback, and it caused a huge mistake that they needed. So TCU now with a new lease on life. There's still plenty of time left in this 4th quarter for them to get back in this game here. Benson on a 3rd down, and that pass is broken up by Hunt, man. Who else? The top DB on our team. He comes up in a major way, gets a hand on the football, but now it's 4th and 5. TCU still has another opportunity here. And what can they do in 4th down as Benson takes the snap again, throws one right down the middle of the end zone, and that one's going to be completely bottled up, broken up. A whole mess of players there. Several Crimson Tide players, not that many Horned Frogs in the vicinity, as Jermel Lord, the tight end, unable to track that football. So another turnover announced, but TCU once again works it back within scoring range here, but now well under 2 minutes, and they're trying to run the hurry up here with just 1 minute and 9 seconds left to operate. So even if they score, they're going to kind of need a miracle to get the football back again. They've squandered a lot of opportunities, and Benson, again, taking a challenge against Hunt, and it's absolutely going nowhere, man. You cannot take that risk with 31 in the vicinity, man. He's just playing too good a defense over there. So it's a no-fly zone. But with 1 minute left to go here, Benson again going to try try and throw for it. He heads to that same area on the field, and this time he finds an open target, and it's Simpson once again, but that was not Hunt, so we're not going to blame him, even though that was the same area. But on second and goal here, Benson finally able to break through here, and he finds an open target in the end zone, and TCU's finally going to answer back here a little bit. It looks like a backup tight end, perhaps. That's what the build would imply, but either way, TCU finally going to score here, and yeah, man, look at the frustration. Look at the frustration. But now TCU going to try an an onside kick here, and we managed to recover it. So that's our second attempt, because the first one, the ball did not travel 10 yards. So on the second attempt, we managed to come up big time, and that should give us victory formation, which it does, and we grab the victory over TCU, our third straight national championship. Can you freaking believe it? 3 straight. So we spent pretty much all of years 10 to 15 like going back and forth, contending and not contending, contending and not contending, and missing out on these games to winning 3 straight. And I didn't even necessarily like go super soft with the scheduling. Obviously, in the years 10 to 15, we were obviously doing a lot more like gauntlet type schedules where I was putting in like 3 ranked opponents on top of our ranked SEC schedule. And obviously, in the last couple of seasons, I haven't done that as much. I've been adding 1, but even then, the ranked teams I was adding were teams that I knew we could beat, like Illinois or UCLA. You know what I mean? Like I knew those were teams that we could contend against or compete against. And so, and after losing to TCU, which I don't even think I noted in the beginning of the video, we've only played TCU one other time in this Dynasty mode, and they beat us, man. We traveled to Fort Worth, and they beat us. So, and I think it was the same season we played Colorado State as well. So I was feeling high. You know what I mean? Like I was feeling high with that gauntlet schedule. Or it might have been Oklahoma, but we played a tough team before that game, and I was feeling pretty good considering where the team was at. But then TCU kind of brought us back to reality. So we get a revenge in the final game of the series. We extend to the sole ownership of the longest streak in college football, and we also add another Sugar Bowl before things get on out of here. But there's one more massive, hilarious jump scare that I don't think you guys are prepared for as we take a look at our 7th national title, the record-setting in college football, and I think in this time and in real life too, the record set. And of course, we beat Nick Saban's real total of 6, and we even get a little trophy for the 3 in a row. That's kind of cool. I wish it said 3-peat, but it's fine. 3 in a row is cool. We've won 3 in a row. I've never done that in this game, off camera or otherwise. But so it's cool to have that they give you trophies for this. I wonder if there's one for 4. But yeah, we got fired. We got fired. We got fired. Sick Nabin was fired from the Crimson Tide. Yes, we got fired. I think this is a glitch with the game because I think we maxed out the contract. Like, we had a 12-year contract, and I don't think the game will give you another one past that. So I think that's kind of the thing. Even though I think you can run a dynasty for like 20 to 30 seasons in this game, I don't know. I've never seen this happen before. I've ran longer than 17-season dynasties. Like with Northwestern, we did 20, and we never got fired. So this is bizarre. I don't know why we got fired. I'm really confused why we got fired. So those numbers aren't legit, and I had to go back and record our report card before the TCU game because since we got fired, it won't let me view my stats with Alabama anymore. It just won't let me view them. So in the finale video, I will flash that screen up and we'll talk about it. We'll look over it and stuff. You can already see a lot of the numbers on here, but that's just with this contract. Those numbers that you're seeing are with this 12-year contract. It doesn't include the other 5 years that I coached before that. So yeah, we'll look at that in the next video. But we are going to retire. Sick Name is going to retire. We're going to call it a career. There you see it. There's our little record that we now set. It's us. It belongs to us here. We beat a Notre Dame coach who had 6, probably a famous one that you guys know. But we have 7 now. We are the sole holder of that historic landmark, man. The greatest coach in college football, the greatest coach in Bama history, the greatest coach in SEC history. Any accolade you want to throw, it is ours. So thank you guys so much for watching this series and sticking with it for all 133 parts. It's the longest series I've ever done. I hope to continue to do longer series like this, but just thank you guys so much for sticking with it and watching, man, and watching the legacy of Sick Nabin. So in the next one, we're going to do a little autopsy, go over stats and stuff, and just kind of talk about the series. So hope to see you guys in that last episode, probably on Saturday. So thanks again for watching, man, and go Tide.